1. Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Brian and Jim here with Drink a Beer and Play a Game, and we are doing another Power Hour podcast. For those of you on Twitch, don't worry, we'll make sure we get to all your comments, and on YouTube, welcome once again.
Hi.
Jim still hasn't learned the whole just introduce yourself a little better. All right, so right off the bat,
I'm promoting, goddammit.
We'll actually go ahead and get into what we're drinking before we talk about our topics, because to be honest, this was a very off-the-cuff Power Hour. We're trying to stay consistent, and for those of you watching on Twitch, you know I just got done playing a shit ton of Cuphead, so I'm actually a little drunk. This is beer number 7 for me, and I've been drinking a lot tonight. And Jim, well, he hasn't been drinking as much, but I'm actually right now sticking with the Imperial Pumpkin from Southern Tier. Now, if you're a pumpkin beer fan,
that season,
then,
huh?
Yeah. If you're a pumpkin beer fan, you know this beer. It's delicious. Let's see, 8.6%, which is probably why I'm feeling so goddamn drunk right now. And it's just a ton of spice and flavor. Most people still think that this is like one of the best pumpkin beers out there. I personally like the Weyerbacher a little better. But either way, Jim, what are you drinking tonight? Because it's probably something left over.
It is leftover, but I have a few bits, Brian, and having leftover beer is definitely one of them. But I'm drinking 2 different beers tonight. Both are from Heavy Seas, the Double Cannon, and starting with one of the Troppy Cannons.
Okay. And Jim, go ahead.
Infused with grapefruit zest and natural mango and blood orange flavors. Troppy Cannon is a tropical twist on our Loose Cannon IPA. 7.25% alcohol per volume, and the Double Cannon is, woo! I'm going to have 2 of these, and these are 9.5. Oh boy.
Jim, you can go ahead and start.
Oh, god damn it. I had a couple Rolling Rocks at dinner, so this is definitely a step up from that.
Yeah. And during Cuphead, I combined pumpkin with Rolling Rocks. As I realized going through that game, and I was getting, like, just killed over and over, I was like, okay, I need something. I can't just do pumpkin straight, so let me throw in a little bit of an easier beer. So I actually was combining that. But for this podcast, just pumpkin. So, Jim, we might as well right away get started talking about Cuphead. Now, once again... If you don't follow us on Twitch, make sure you go over there and check it out. I'm currently going through and going to be broadcasting my playthrough of that entire game. I'll do it with no commentary because eventually Jim and I will definitely want to review this game. And I just want to be able to have clean footage without Jim and I talking over top of it. So right off the bat, I'm just going to say I friggin' love that game. The artwork alone is a reason to just fall in love with it. But on top of that, the gameplay is just so fluid, it's fun, and it is difficult as shit. If you watch my stream, you know I was trying to kill that one boss for about 40 or more turns. So, yeah, definitely tough.
You were having some issues there.
Yeah, definitely tough, but not unfair. So, Jim, what do you think about the game so far?
Yeah, I absolutely love the shit out of that goddamn game. It's so goddamn good. Like,
well, what's your favorite part about it?
Ah, God. You know what it is? It's, like, weird. Like, this is the first time I've ever played a game like this where, like, I'm not just completely frustrated. And normally I'm always frustrated with games like this, but something about this one, man, like, it's a thing where, like, every time I fuck up and die, it always feels like it is legitimately my fault, even though, like, it's tough as nails, but I never feel like it's being cheat in a weird kind of way. Yeah. So, I don't know how it kind of pulled that off, but it did a really good job of it. The graphics, like, I grew up, like, a Cartoon Network kid. Like, I loved the shit out of, like, Cartoon Network when it first started in the 90s was just nothing but, what do you call it? Old Hanna-Barbera and fucking cartoon replays from, like, the 20s and shit like that. And, like, that's the shit I really grew up on. So the soundtrack is amazing. Like, it just nails that big band fucking the swing and jazz of the 1930s perfectly. Just everything about it's just so polished. And good on Xbox for finally having a reason to really go out and have a legitimate exclusive game for their whole series, because they've been missing that for a while. But yeah, I mean, just overall, I'm just really happy with it.
No, it is. You know me, I'm not willing to just right away jump on how great a game is, but in recent years, it's definitely one of my favorite 2D platformer, shooter, run and gun, whatever you want to call it. Hey Jim, is that you right there?
Yes, I know you're behind me. I'm out of energy. I don't know how the fuck you find me so goddamn fast every time. Piece of shit.
So,
God, I hate this fucking game.
For those of you watching, we're once again doing Friday the 13th. Jim has a very tough time multitasking, and at least a game like this should be fairly entertaining. I'm sure he would want to play games like Cuphead during this, but he can't pay attention as is. And I'm trying to sharpen his skills, so that's just a little FYI. But anyway, getting back to Cuphead.
Actually, one thing getting back to Cuphead, I think that game for $20 is way worth its money, whereas this one for $40, I'm still not convinced on.
Wait, say that one more time.
Cuphead's only $20, and I think that's a fair price for that game. This being $40, I gotta be honest, man, I'm still not thinking it's worth the price.
Yeah, I can understand it. I would disagree with that just because I think with technically what kind of content you're getting, there's a little bit more here. But, I mean, Cuphead being $20 is amazing, and I think it's there's no one out there that shouldn't be buying that game for 20 friggin' bucks. $40, I'm not saying I'm going to push this game on anyone, because I definitely agree. I find it that worth that value, but I can see where a lot of people don't, and especially once they release the first player version.
Well, you're such a hard nut that you're gonna give it a pass anyway. It gives you what you want, especially as a horror fan.
But even besides horror, as I said, the big thing for me is this is the first game where I can legit play with strangers, made friends, and the community actually plays together. I mean, I've tried Left 4 Dead. I've tried other games. If I'm not playing with my buddies with those
I'm
other
fucking
games,
Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, there's no chance. Some asshole's going to run off. Granted, you still get some douchebags, and we talked about this already. But just because of that, when it first came out, it was a buggy mess. And they fixed a lot of it. It's still not perfect. And I'm not saying this is a perfect game. I'm just saying... I'm fine with the $40 for this, knowing that I'm going to keep getting new content. And quite honestly, I would have been fine with Cuphead being $60, and I probably would have paid that.
Yeah, I probably would have too. I would have liked the physical release if it was $60, but
Oh, shut the fuck up with your physical releases. Goddamn physical release.
Right, it's going to go away one day.
It doesn't matter. You're going to be dead by the time it does.
Negative.
Jim. Let's face facts.
Actually,
you're
with my
beat
lifestyle,
that game,
there's
and you're
a chance.
never gonna play it again. I love the shit out of this game, and by this game I mean Cuphead. I'm gonna beat that. Maybe once in a blue moon I'll go back, but once I beat a hard game like that, unless I really want to challenge myself and get an A+ on every single level, no reason to go back.
Right.
I'm going to enjoy this shit out of it, and I love it. But let's calm it down with this collection mentality you have, Jim.
Never.
Yes. Jim, collection doesn't equal love.
I don't know about that, Bri.
Much like food.
Bri, foodie, you son of a bitch.
Jim, did you see what I did there?
Yes, I know what the fuck you did there.
Jim, I don't think you saw what I did there.
Christ.
So yeah, either way, so I actually purposely avoided, even people we really enjoy like Cinemassacre and stuff. I've avoided trying to see anyone's opinions other than what we talked about last time, the idiots who got the early copies and said it was too hard. Have you been paying attention at all to like the general reviews? Are most people loving it, or is really anyone hating on this game?
The most, like, I watched Total Biscuit's video of it when it came out, and even he was like, this is a game that I don't normally play, but, like, he can see the value in it, even though he, like, sucks 7 dicks at it. For the most part, it's a lot of love. Like, I know our one buddy, Crooked, in, part of Team Laser Mouse, he actually got a return on his, because it's just not a game for him. Like, he thought it was just frustrating and overly unfair, I guess.
Okay.
Which I guess I can see that, because it does test your patience. And for the life of me, like I said, like, I guess it's the charm of the game that keeps me from like just fully hating it or like getting annoyed like that.
You know what's funny is
it's probably just.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Go on. Nah, go on.
I was going to say, so you know me, and actually I was monitoring the chat while I was playing. You were mentioning my rage, which I definitely have a rage issue. I didn't even say a single curse that entire time I died that many times, because at no point was I actually frustrated. Like, I was pissed at myself, and I've told you many times, I'm fine with being mad when I fuck up in a game. Like, if it's on me, it's on me. I'm really pissed about it. But if there's an issue at all with control or some bullshitty other player, aka Jim, like in multiplayer games, that is doing something cheap to try and get a kill or a win, I'm going to have a much bigger problem with that. And that's where my rage or quitting or any of that shit is going to come in. But when a game like that, that's just pattern recognition and having good hand-eye coordination. Being drunk, it's not like that would have really dulled my anger. But I can tell you, I really never even thought about stopping, like, playing that game because I kept dying. I was just like, okay, here's what I need to do. And I knew the perfect combo. It was just, like, a matter of timing it. So I can say some old NES games that I would much easier give up because I felt like some of those, like, bosses were more bullshitty who clearly, you know, the shit with reading your inputs before, like, as you put them. That's the shit I can't stand. That's where I'm like, a game's a little bullshitty. This one, it's just good, and it's just a fair challenge. You having trouble there?
No, I just did a dummy.
So
I did such a dummy.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, I can understand that game isn't gonna be for everyone, which is absolutely fine. But I would never say that game is unfair, or I wouldn't describe it as frustrating.
Actually, a lot of, like, pages that I watched, like, the one guy from GameSack was talking about how at first he hated it, but then he eventually, like, loved it.
Yeah.
Like, I guess he, like, played it a little more and gave it more of a chance, and, like, he was like, oh, I take it back. This game's amazing. So, like I said, like, I can see it being annoying to people. I can, you know, see both sides of the coin, really. I'm just glad that it turned out to not be, like, this game that was being hyped for years and turned out to be a total flop, like what happens to so many games out there.
Definitely worried.
Like, I'm glad for
that.
once it was worth the wait.
Yeah, I was worried as shit. Like, I'm like, oh my god, a game like that looks this good, like, is it really going to be able to play that good?
And yeah, like, it found a way. It did everything right, really.
Yeah, for sure. But
yeah, I mean, I say, like we already said, kind of, I would definitely say it's a recommendation. Well worth the $20. If you haven't played it yet, it's worth the hype. Go out and get it.
Yeah. Recommendation for sure.
And even, like, a collector dork like I am, like, even I'm, like, normally I'll wait forever for a game to be physically released. Like, I'm doing it with Sonic Mania. I did it before with Rocket League. But this, even I was just like, no, I have to get this. And I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
So that, so I guess another thing we can go off that is, what games were you, like, really hyped for? Whether it's, like, I don't know, one of the long-running games, or there's something that might have had a long development cycle, just a game that you really thought this is going to be a game for me, and you got it, and you were just like, oh, god damn it. Just didn't live up to the hype at all.
You know, I didn't really have a lot of games like that. I don't know. most games, no, I'm not going to say most games lives up to the hype for me, because definitely some have let me down. But this game, to a degree, once I heard about it, Friday the 13th, I was like, my expectations were higher than what it could have possibly delivered on. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So
I think, let me see, what could I say would be like that for me? Oh, Jesus. Of course. Should have known.
Well, considering you don't really play that many new games.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough one even for me to answer because I'm like, you know what, I don't really get that many games like right off the bat or new or shit like that. Like, it's almost a thing where it's like, I guess I'm very selective about the games I wind up getting.
I mean,
you're just toying with my dick right now.
I don't know if I'd call you selective. I would just say you're a little Nance.
Cheap. I'm a little Nance. I thought you were gonna go with a little too stuck in the retro games.
Well, you definitely are, and it's a shame because I feel like you miss out on more newer games because of your obsession.
Fair point. Like, I guess there are a lot of newer games. Like, I'm actually trying to go through now, like, my back catalog. Like, instead of going for fucking, a new game or shit like that. Or, no, I mean, new one for an old console. I'll actually fucking either play the stuff in my catalog or I'm actually trying to play some of the games on my Xbox that I've been missing out on. Like, now that I finally finished up Super Metroid, I really want to get into Titanfall 2, which I didn't get around to playing yet.
Yeah.
If even for the single player alone, which I hear is really good. So.
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Come on. Oh, God damn it. You're just gonna dick around and fucking smack me and just frustration. All the frustration.
Oh, Chambers.
I know you want me to walk into that goddamn bear trap. I'm not gonna do it.
Okay.
Until I do it, and then I hate myself more.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's put it this way. I mean, we always ask this question, probably too many times, to be honest, but is there any new game that you're even aware of that you're really looking forward to?
Besides Fractured But Whole? Not really.
So,
I mean, even the new Call of Duty, I'm just like, yeah, it's another Call of Duty.
So that's my question. Other
play.
than Call of Duty, is there any series that, like, if you hear there's a game coming out for, you're going to be like, oh shit, I'm getting that? Like, yeah, I'm not willing to say any games like, I'm not willing to say South Park is in that because I'm talking more about games.
Almost a given?
Yeah, like, well, no, just because that's only the second game in the series. I'm talking about established series. Like, for me, obviously, it's Resident Evil. You know, if a Resident Evil game's coming out, right, I'm going to get it.
That is your wheelhouse right there.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe not so much to say, like, whenever they make another Doom, but I'm interested to play the new Wolfenstein when that comes out, just because right now, after, like, the last couple titles, I'm like, you know what? Id really knows what they're doing, so I can kind of give them, I'm not going to say benefit of the doubt, but I have an idea that the games that they're going to come out with are probably going to be, you know, worth the hype, worth a first day release. Just like a solid first-person shooter campaign kind of deal.
Yeah.
Even though FPSs are kind of, you know, beat to death at this point, but you know what I mean.
No, I hear you. What about a game like... I mean, you are a huge fan of Resident Evil like me, but
yeah,
you didn't seem like you were right away ready to jump on the RE7 bandwagon.
Yeah, it took me a little. I mean, I didn't get on it yet, obviously, but it's one of those ones that, like, maybe one day I'll get to. I don't know, like, watching you play it, I was like, yeah, it looks fun, but I don't know. If it, I don't know if I really think I need to play it, is the kind of thing.
Okay.
Which kind of sounds a little weird to say, because I really, like, that's a series I grew up with, and I guess until 5 I played every single one of them, so I don't really know what happened there.
Yeah. No!
Die, bitch, die!
Damn it!
Oh, thank God.
It was about time. I couldn't
way
find
too
a
long.
knife in this map to save my life.
Early on, I couldn't find you to save my goddamn life. Ooh, I got an achievement. Kill 13 counselors. Yay, 10 points.
Oh, boy.
Shows how much I play this game.
So, moving forward, since
Oh,
you know...
actually, let me catch up with the chat real quick. Alright, so Sneaky Turtle Clegg, or Jason, who likes to call me Blubby in the comment section all the time.
Well, that's because that's your
says
name,
he's like
Jim.
me. He's
You're Blub.
God, no,
Jim,
no,
Jim.
no.
Accept your
No.
name. You're Blub.
Never. I will not accept
We
that.
can get all of our friends in on this and see what they feel.
I know I'm gonna lose that goddamn battle.
You're Blub. You just need to accept it.
And anyway, he says he's like me. He's stuck in retro to a certain degree, still exploring old catalogs. He just said, just kill him, Brian. Meg says she's not
Go
a
ahead,
new
hit
game
start,
type
Jim.
either. Yes, I'll hit. God, fucking damn it. You're going to kill me in 2 seconds anyway. So Meg's always hyped for Gears of War. Jason says he picked up an analog NT this year. Oh, wow. He picked up an N Mine. What's an NT Mini? Okay. So that, like, top-of-the-line clone console for the NES.
Yep.
The $500 one. So it plays a couple different systems, so he's happy with that. And, yeah, I mean, I try to find ways to kind of rig my Genesis and a lot of my old stuff to be as clear as possible, or to have, like, to be able to record off it with, like, you know, not composite with that shit video quality. Almost have it like an emulator without being an emulator. That kind of deal.
All right, well, let me ask you a really simple but loaded question. Moving forward, you're pretty much set in your ways. You know, you're a Genesis fanboy. You're probably going to get too many games for your Turbo. Are you now just trying to find the best games, new experiences, or once you find a game you like, you're just going to kind of stick with it?
I think right now, at least, like, I can't say for the future, but right now, it's a lot of just new experiences. Like, I'll be watching all the YouTubers I watch and shit like that, or hear about certain games, or even if something, like, remotely interests me, I'll probably give it a flyer on it to check it out. And I may not, it's kind of rare anymore that I, like, really, truly beat games, but I do like just, like, going through and playing games and playing them again and again. Even if I don't beat them, I just like to get the experience and hear what everyone's talking about. Like, I'm surprised I played through and beat fucking Metroid. Even though, you know, I eventually did a walkthrough. But, like, you know, that was a game that was like, alright, it sucked me in. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I played it, but it's not a game I don't think I'd ever really play again, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Shit.
Did that get you hooked on the, like, at all in the Metroid universe? Like, do you think now you're going to go through and play as many Metroid games, or, like, that was good enough?
It's probably not going to get me hooked, because I've actually never, like, I played through the original Metroid a little bit, and, like, it was, I didn't like it at all, to be honest with you. And I played a little bit, I actually, when it was new, that's how I got it, the, Metroid Prime Trilogy. I got that just because I wanted to, you know, give Metroid Prime a try, and figured all 3 games, this is the perfect way to do it. But, yeah, I tried playing that too, and it never sucked me in. So, I don't know what it is about these games that I can't, you know, really get behind them, but... Oh God.
Hey, Jim. Go ahead, I'll let you run. I'll give you a 20-second head start.
No.
Go ahead, I'm going to count to 20. Go ahead. I'm doing
Right,
it
give me a
internally.
20-minute head start.
Go ahead, keep talking. I'm going to let you run.
But yeah, so I don't know what it is. I guess even the whole Metroidvania style of games in general never got me. Like, Symphony of the Night I never finished because I got lost, I got frustrated, and then I turned it off. and I never really went back to it. So I think it's just that's one of the things where it's a style of game that just never gripped me, or I don't have the patience for.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you said
right now,
you're actually interested in a newer experience, because like I feel like you constantly keep replaying games you've already played before.
Actually, not so much lately. Like, I used to do that a lot. I'll definitely say that. But lately it's been a lot of, like, find a game, pick it up, and give it a go.
Yeah.
It's like, actually, like, when I was a kid, like, I'll give you a perfect example. I was never into shmups or shoot-em-ups when I was younger. But lately, like, I've been playing a shitload of them. I suck at them. I suck terribly at them. But games like Blazing Lasers or Musha or the Thunder Force series or what the hell else? One of my more recent ones. Hellfire for the Genesis. Like, just games like that. Like, I suck at them, but I find them to be really fun, even though I'm god-awful.
Yeah.
And, like, every one of these that I play is essentially a new experience for me, because it's shit that I never played before.
Yeah.
And, like, it's a genre I never played. No. What are you doing?
I'm not doing nothing.
You're just being a dick for shits. You're doing something. You're playing in some kind of cocky ass fucking dick sucker kill.
Hey Jim,
piss me off.
Would you like to play a game?
What? Oh God, shut your mouth. Oh fucking I missed you. God damn it. Nope. Ooh.
Yep.
Spike to the back of the head. That's brutal. But yeah, actually, like, I've been playing that. I've been playing some tactical RPGs lately, too, like Shining Force, which is another genre I never really played before. So, I am really branching out outside of the games that I grew up on, or my old fallbacks, or going through again and again. I'd like to get around to playing some of the RPGs I have for the Super NES, too, like Super Mario RPG or Earthbound. Finally get those under my belt.
Yeah, but don't you think you probably don't have that much time to really get involved in RPG?
I really don't. That's another reason I'm really liking shmups lately, because they're the ultimate kind of pick up and play games.
Yeah.
I pick them up, I can play them for 20 minutes, I will get a game over or two, I'll put it away, and I'll be satisfied.
Which is why I think you're also favoring more of your older systems, because you can't, like, a game that me and you have talked about multiple times, like, there's no excuse why you haven't played BioShock. It's such a great game. But,
I played it for a little bit, and I stopped, and then I never went back.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough.
But, like, that's a game that's going to take some time for you, so, I get it. But, yeah, it's tough. I mean, for me personally, when, kind of the flip side of what you were saying, I definitely know I stick to new experiences. Like, you can hit start. I tend to just, in the past, I was an achievement hunter, where I'd want to see every ending of a game, or this or that.
I had my achievement hunter phase, too. Oof.
Yeah, and right now, it's just like, I'll beat a game, let me get the core thing out of it. And there's a good number of games I went through, beat, and I was like, okay, I need to come back, because I want to find some other shit, but I just don't have the time anymore. So now it's just play a game, did I like it, cool, and trying to really build up those games that I really want to go back to. I almost feel like, obviously I play tons of retro games, but I feel like newer games, if I'm going to invest some time, I'm going to try and find the best of the best. I'm not going to waste my time on an obscure title. Like, I better be sure it's going to be good, because if I ain't got enough time, then, I want to make sure I'm using my time wisely, essentially.
No, I can definitely see that there. One quick thing. Jason mentioned for old consoles about the HD Retrovision cables. And, yeah, they actually are really good. I have the cable set for the Genesis, and it looks fantastic on my HD TV.
Jim,
they have them.
I just need to interrupt you. You just sounded like Kyle's Jewish cousin. They look fantastic.
Oh, it looks fantastic on my TV. I was really worried about the color differentials on the television screen with the pixels, but it turned out wonderfully.
God damn it.
But yeah, the only problem with them is that they don't work with, like, they had an Elgato on the Amazon Prime Day this past year, so I picked one up.
Yeah.
But they don't work on that, so I was like, God damn it. So I have a way that I'm thinking of, like, rigging stuff together, but outside of that, like, for just playing a game on, like, the TV to keep the system alive a little longer, fucking great. Can't recommend it enough. God damn it. Already.
Boo.
And they got him for the Saturn and the Neo Geo of all things, and the Super NES. So I don't think I'm gonna buy them for other consoles since I'm such a fanboy. But like, I'm fine using composite with the Super NES, but with my Genesis, well, I'll go for it.
I hear you. Now,
and like for $60, they're worth the price in my mind. I'm actually planning on doing a video on it one of these days. So a quick little hardware review.
Now, what about kind of switching topics? Horror games. Do you find yourself actually getting scared by horror games, or are you just completely numb to it?
At this point, probably more the numb feeling. I think like the jump scare parts, like the jump scares will always get me because I'm a sucker for that. But as far as pure legitimately like scared, well, you know what? I think I could be scared. It just depends on how they set up the entire experience, really. Like, if they give it's kind of like we talked about with the It movie, where I'm going to be more scared of, like, nuance and, like, you know, the atmosphere and the suspense, more than just, say, like, you know, oh, God, wacky, you know, fast-paced gore kind of shit like that.
So it's really just a matter of jump scares at this point for you, though.
I mean, jump scares will get me the and maybe I'll pee a little, but like, you know, where I'm really going to get the intensity is from you know, like a really nicely constructed kind of, not so much world, I want to say, but like just the entire like atmosphere of what they do with a movie or a game at this point.
I gotcha.
But yeah, like, I mean, the old Resident Evils, it's never going to feel like that again, where the zombie turned his face the first time and I was like, oh God. Or the dog jumping through the window, which, you know, that is a classic jump scare, but it's still a thing where it was, I guess, so new and fresh, and it just got to me.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But yeah, I mean, like, and what other games can I think that, like, actually scared me? Motherfucker. Probably... It wasn't like I had scares from it, but Silent Hill 2, man, that was a mindfuck and a half.
Yeah.
Like, that's a game that, like, not only did it mess with your head, but, like, there was a lot of suspense. There was a lot of just really just pure creepiness to it. And I think that's a game that, like, I wasn't per se scared, but I was just really not at ease and uncomfortable the whole time.
Yeah.
Which, to me, can kind of be better overall than just, like, a game that's like, ooh, spooky.
I hear you. Yeah, that makes sense. Are there any... I mean, you're not exactly a guy that gets in any holiday mood, but if you were to start... Like,
no, I'm not. I'm such a bitter old man.
You are. I mean, you're just... Yeah. But, like, if you did have games that, like, you wanted to get into the Halloween mood, what would they be?
Splatterhouse, definitely. Splatterhouse is definitely in there. What other games would I think would get me in the Halloween mood? Maybe Zombies Ate My Neighbors, just because, you know, classic zombie game, all the horror tropes, all the monsters. I would go back and play through Resident Evil 1 or 2 to get the scares in me and to have that nice little throwback kind of feeling. I don't know if I could think of anything more recent, though, that would really be that kind of experience for me. Not that I've played enough. Like, maybe I should give a game like, say, Evil Within a shot. Or, I mean, you're the horror guy. Would you say I should try that? Maybe the first one since it's cheap?
Yeah, it's good. Motherfuck.
Ah, goddamn knife. Should have known. God damn. Ah, you fucking could have sneaked through there.
Evil Within is more of psychological, so you're. I mean, I know
That could be one that I like though, because I do like the psychological, uneasy kind of feeling.
Yeah. I love that game.
Would you say it's a recommendation or no, though?
Yeah, I would. If you're in the horror mood. Like, if you're not in the horror mood, then no. And I know that's a weird thing to say, but, like, you got to be in the right mindset for that game. Like, it's not over-the-top action. If you think in Resident Evil 4, which a lot of people were because, you know, the guy...
But that wasn't scary, though, either.
Exactly. And you know my feelings on that.
Right, like, it's a good game, but it's not, you know... It's not, per se, a good Resident Evil game. It's just a good action-y kind of game.
Exactly.
Let's see here. Jason says, Zombies ate my neighbors. Starcast is done with Cuphead for tonight. He's about to lose his shit. Very understandable. Happens to the best of us, buddy. Oh, jeez, really? Fucking... just... God damn it.
Jim.
I'm just so bad at this game. So much ineptitude. But yeah, what can I think of for another scary game that would be like a Halloween staple for me? Definitely nothing on the N64, that's for goddamn sure.
Yeah, there's nothing scary on N64.
Nah. Except for how badly some of the games have aged, but beyond that.
But Jim, you're an N64
Let's see here,
fanboy.
PlayStation. I do love my N64. I'll do some apologizing for it, but it's definitely weak in a lot of ways.
Yeah. It's one of those systems that's like... I mean, you've talked about this how many times, but can't we just agree? It's like, it didn't age well. Woo! Oh my god. Call me
just
Emmett
goddamn
Smith.
toying with my dick. I will not. Oh, and fuck me for not starting goddamn Gronk or for starting Gronk and not realizing that he was fucking injured. Son of a bitch.
Jim, am I supposed to feel bad for you?
What, after my masterful beating of you last week? Probably not.
After one of my players broke his legs.
Hey, I had Darren Sproles break his leg the week before.
I don't want to hear it. I had one of them break their legs, and I had...
What the hell happened?
You killed me.
My camera's in like a weird spot where it's looking at like the dresser.
One of my players broke their legs. Another one was out by halftime because he has a hamstring injury. So, and then one of my top running backs just was like, you know what? 3 points is good for this week. It was one of those ones like I wasn't even mad. I was like, once both of them got hurt, I was like, well, I ain't got a choice.
I have a good Halloween game. I have a good one.
Okay.
Eternal Darkness on the GameCube. Great. That's another one that's more mind-fucked and scary. Do you know anything about it?
Oh, yeah. The insanity meter, the glitch where it makes you think your game crashed. The atmosphere is very... It was kind of like Amnesia before Amnesia, and then it combined elements of that Silent Hill. That's a game that I know a shit ton about. I just haven't had a chance to play, so I can't wait to play that game.
Yeah, it's getting a little pricey, too, at this point, like anything else, really.
I'll just borrow yours.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, no, that's a great one. That's one we should probably get around to reviewing one time, too. And actually, I need to go back and finish that because when I was playing it before, like, the game naturally just goes out of its way to fuck with you. But I was also using a shitty GameStop GameCube controller, so that actually started dying on me. So I just thought I was constantly being fucked with, and I was like, I can't even move. I'm, like, perfectly healthy.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of things against me going there.
Yeah, for me, Halloween, if I'm going to do some Halloween games, I'm going to stick to classics. You do your Resident Evil, you do your Silent Hill, but as me and you have discussed, and one of the reasons why we reviewed it last year or the year before, Castlevania is a perfect Halloween game because, you
Oh,
can,
yeah.
if you know what you need to do, you can beat it every year. So number 1 or number 4 are usually my go-to. I actually might play through Simon's Quest or 3
Bryce, 3
again.
a little too hard.
No, I'm fine with 3. It's just, I don't, it goes back to that time issue. I've beaten pretty much every Castlevania except for the N64 ones. So there's not really a need for me to beat it. It's just I'm doing it for the fun of it. And 3, as much as I like it, it's definitely much more of a time sink for me at this point. And then you have, there's so many great games, but I don't want to say some names of games because they might be getting reviewed very soon. But there's a lot of good modern horror games out there. I mean, everyone knows the classic horror games, so I don't really need to repeat those. But goddamn, if you want to play a horror game, you got a ton of options. It's not like, back in the day where it was only like 1 or 2 things you could have done.
Bri, if only we were NES collectors back then and we could have Samurai Zombie Revenge.
I'm going to be honest, other than, well, actually that was a Famicom. I was going to say Wanpaku Graffiti.
I actually wound up getting a repro of that.
Yeah. It's a great game.
Oh, yeah. That's one I'm happy that, it's not official or shit
When
like
I
that,
think,
but,
it's not really...
it's such a fun game.
Probably one of the best...
But it's not hard. It's more goofy.
Yeah, but, there's plenty of actual legit horror elements like The Exorcist, Aliens, and, obviously Friday.
Oh, it's got all the callbacks.
One thing I will say is, Home Sweet Home, or Sweet Home, the game that basically inspired Resident Evil. That's a really fun game, but once again, another goddamn, Famicom exclusive, unfortunately. Let's see. Monster Party, that game I told you about that I have. There's some
I was going to say, you got that, didn't you?
Yeah, there's some creepy-ass horror elements. And, of course, if you really wanted to, you could go with Friday the 13th. You could go with Nightmare on Elm Street. I've played Friday the 13th a good amount on the NES. I don't have that much experience with Nightmare on Elm Street, so I don't really have that much of an opinion on it. What else? So that's really the NES. Nintendo in general, it's really they're going to rely on Castlevania.
Right. Oh, Jesus, what? Really? Oh, man. I'm so bad as the counselors. I just have to... a lot of people haven't seen us playing multiplayer, but the only times I ever seem to win where I survive as a counselor is I get killed in, the first 5 minutes, and then someone calls me back as Tommy Jarvis, and even then I still find a way to almost fuck it up. So,
yeah.
I'm just bad as these people.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as the retro consoles, Genesis has I don't want to really... Splatterhouse and the Castlevania game, really. But, horror games in general, they have
Castlevania Bloodlines, too, which is, really fucking good.
Hey, Jim, remember when I just said 1 second ago that Splatterhouse and the Castlevania game?
I didn't hear that part of it. I'll check into Twitch, Bri. I'm interacting with the people.
Listen, you're too busy fapping.
I'm a giver.
You're a fapper.
Look, that's beyond the point, all right? Of course I'm a fapper. What do you think I've been doing since I was 10? What do you think I've been doing with my life? Getting in shape or taking care of myself or applying myself in any way? No, I've been masturbating this whole goddamn time. I've been playing video games, possibly playing.
Jim, you know what?
Playing.
I just made a decision for us. Right now, I'm going to give you a solid 2 minutes to try and get away. 2 minutes. So I'm going to start a clock as soon as it starts. I'm going to be Jason. I'm going to give it 2 minutes.
You're Jason again?
I'm trying to get you guys a counselor so when you play with me, you don't die first. Because then I'm embarrassed. And then you're not making DBPG look good, Jim.
I know. I'm not doing too good as far as this game goes. Fucking Todd gave me an F to pay respects for my character once again.
Jim.
Another one lost to the horrors.
You got 2 minutes. Start as soon as the actual game starts. I'm going to start a timer. Yeah, you're not good at Cuphead. You're not good at this. You need to be good at stuff.
Hey, I am not bad at Cuphead.
I mean, I've played it
You've not
tonight,
even seen me play
drunk,
that yet.
and I already got further than you. So come on, I'm clearly better than you at Cuphead. I mean,
Incorrect.
come on. But
Hold on, I need to get my charger for the battery. Oh, fuck.
do I need to give you 3 minutes?
Hold on. Don't worry, I have it.
All right, 2 minutes is gonna start as soon as the game
Son
starts.
of a bitch. All right, I'm back. Bragg? Bragg?
You hear me?
Hello.
2 minutes has started, Jim. Now that is more than enough time to start doing the things you need to do to escape this game.
Ooh. You say that.
I'm just standing in my cabin walking around. So for people on Twitch, that's why I'm doing that. But anyway, no, what I was going to say is, honestly, if you want good games,
God damn it.
Especially more retro horror games, PC is the way to go. There's a lot of...
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of point and click, but there are some excellent point and click games like I Have No Mouth and
I Have No Face and I Will Scream.
Yeah.
I really want to play that.
That's a really good game. Pen... fuck, I'm trying to remember it. I can't remember the name of it. It's some crazy-ass long name. And then Sanitarium. I just beat a game. What the fuck was it called? I can't remember. There's so many I played, but there were so
Have
many
you played the Phantasmagoria games?
Yes, they're great. The
Okay.
earlier Amnesia, because obviously everyone knows Dark Descent's great, but shit, you could even go back to the thing that's inspired the engine for Resident Evil. Now, granted, it wasn't just on
Alone
PC,
in the Dark?
but Alone on the... Yeah. There's great horror out there if you want retro and you don't want to do new for whatever reason. Just need to know where to look.
Yeah, PC, especially the point and clicks, man. Like, I guess because of the limited kind of style of gameplay, they were able to put a lot more creativity in just everything else. So that's why you can see some really fucked up shit in those games. Hell, even the original Fallout, like, you get to this one point and you talk to like this living computer person hybrid. And Fallout's not a horror game, but that thing's disgusting.
Yeah, what is it called? Is it The Brain? Fuck, I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I know, I'm derping out too.
Oh, by the way, I am now moving. It's been 2 minutes.
Great,
So,
wonderful.
You should have escaped already.
Well, that's going to be a problem for me. Now's the winter of my discontent.
Let's put it this way. I'm taking my time really slow. So Jason just mentioned Ghosts and Goblins, or Ghouls and Ghosts on Genesis. In general...
Ghouls and Ghosts is so much better.
That and any of the Ghosts and Goblins, any of those games, obviously just like when Paku Graffiti, there's horror, like, enemies, but that's such an action game that you don't have time to be scared. You're just fucking... You're going crazy. So...
I'm scared of how bad Ghosts and Goblins is.
Jim, maybe you just need to get good.
That game can go fuck itself. I don't need to see the goddamn map screen every goddamn time I die. And I know I said this before, but I'm still mad about it.
Jim, you need to get good. Yeah, I mean, we've obviously reviewed that, so we don't need to dive.
That game needs to get not. That needs to get not suck. All right, that's what that game needs to do.
Yeah, we know our opinion. But I don't know. Would I consider that an actual horror game in the sense that you think about horror games? Probably not.
No,
But
probably
some
in the sense
people
of horror
actually
games, probably
definitely
not.
would. So, all right. So, Alan, Jim, whatever you do, don't do no bullshit like just be crouching in the middle of nowhere.
I don't know what you're talking about, Brad.
Like, don't legit just camp. Like, at least if you're gonna hide, make it something.
Yeah.
I didn't give you 2 minutes. I gave you 2 minutes to escape, not 2 minutes to just be a shit dick.
Right. I have nothing.
Are you being a shit dick?
No, I'm not being a shit dick. I'm actually doing stuff.
Sure about that?
For once in my measly existence, I'm trying to at least do stuff.
So non-game topic, just beer.
Go on.
So do you think the stigma behind pumpkin beers is gone yet?
I don't think people are hating on pumpkin beers as much as they have in the past couple of years. Because I know there was a while where people were like, oh, fucking shitty ass pumpkin beers every goddamn year, like thing like that. I think there's still, like, if you bring it up, someone would probably roll their eyes, but I don't think people are going out of their way anymore to be like, fuck these beers or these are bullshit, stuff like that. It isn't thrown in your face, I guess, as much as, say, pumpkin spice coffee or pumpkin spice Oreos or all the other pumpkin spice shit out there. All the basic white girl stuff.
Don't fucking talk like a 14-year-old whore, Jim. Just don't.
Bri, basic as fuck 100.
I hate
Basic
you so much.
AF.
Just like I hate when you post anything and you know how you hate when I type VL? I hate when you write this or need, one word. Stop that. Fucking stop that. You might as well just say love next to like a pair of shoes.
Maybe I will. Look, Bri, I'm a man with precious little time, so I have to make the most of it. And if that means writing one-word answers to certain things, then so be it.
Hate you. Hey, Jim.
But yeah, as far as beer goes, like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, you did have a knife. Look at you.
Oh, shit. No, my gun fell, though. God damn it. Now's the winner of my discontent.
Do I let Jim run?
Son of a
Yeah,
beast.
it's funny because I think there are still some people that are like, oh, pumpkin beer's not real beer. Her.
Oh, of course there's going to be dickholes like that. Oh, fuck! No! God damn it!
Jim,
Nope,
you ready for
me.
this? Ready?
You got me something good. Oh. Ow.
Jim, did you get got after
Alright, so
2
Jason's
minutes?
saying... Yeah, I got. So Jason's saying, it's bullshit. Anything pumpkin, except pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving.
I saw that.
And it's a fairly boring round for CJ and Baywatch. God damn it. Alright, you know what? There's actually a topic motherfuckers. There's actually a topic I had for you for the last podcast that we didn't get to. And I guess it's a little ambiguous, but I'm going to try and word it in my usual derpy way as best as possible.
Oh, God.
If there's one moment in gaming, and I guess I can say for beer too, that you wish you could almost like erase from your memory and go back to and relive all over again. And it doesn't have to be per se like an actual moment in a video game,
Stop saying
but
per
like
se.
maybe an
Go
experience you had per se, or a moment you had while playing a video game, or like the entire experience. If you could have one moment that you could just fully relive like that again, what would you want it to be?
Essentially, you're asking me one of my favorite moments in gaming or beer ever. Because
Yes.
what else would you be asking with a question like that?
Because I don't want you to just say like what's your favorite moment or set piece from a video game ever. Like I'm thinking more
No, I
like,
know. For me, it would probably be... And
stop saying for me.
No, for me, you and I have
se.
talked about this I don't know how many times. It would be playing Resident Evil, going through the entire 1, 2, and 3 in one night with my best friend.
Oh, yeah.
And staying up all night, marathoning it, eating Hot Pockets. I think we were only like 13 or 14. We were young as shit. And
Touching
we
each other's
just
peckers.
marathon the hell out of it. So yeah, that would probably be mine, because that was like one of those moments like, holy shit, this is like fun as hell. Beat all of them And yeah, and that, because not only is that obviously pure nostalgia for my favorite game series, but it's also just like a time of like you could do that, and then you slept till like 12 in the afternoon, like, so there's so much around that was an awesome. So that was probably, I'm just gonna say, it's my favorite gaming moment.
Fair. And yeah, I know we have talked about that a lot, and we've talked about mine a lot too. It would be at my cousin's house in his rec room that had the gigantic, like 50-inch CRT TV that weighed 4,000 pounds. He had this gigantic stereo sound system set up, popping in Star Wars Arcade on the 32X, and for the first time in my life hearing, like, even though it's like shit quality now looking back at it, like hearing the Star Wars theme coming through a video game, seeing 3D, even though they weren't even rendered polygons, and seeing Admiral Akbar's face, like it was just flapping lips, but him saying "wipe out enemy fighters," like that whole thing just, it blew my mind at the time. Just growing up with normal Genesis games, 2D kind of shit. So I guess my first experience really seeing and experiencing 3D for the first time, that really got to me.
Interesting.
And like to me, that was just like that was like one of those just like mind-blowing, sucking in the entire kind of experience and everything that was going on.
Yeah.
Like that was a big one for me.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I definitely thought you would have said like the first time you played your N64, or, one of the nights that you finally got good at a game like Super Mario Kart and played it too much.
No, those were slow burns. Any game I ever got good at was a slow burn.
But that's what I mean, like a night that you were triumphant, that you've been waiting for forever.
God, what was the last time I had one of those? It's been a while. in life, it's been a while in life since I've had that triumphant moment.
Well, it's tough. It's interesting you said beer, because a moment I'd want to erase
and relive beer wise, or maybe just drinking. Like,
Yeah.
I guess I want to put it a little more than just like a good night you had out with the guys or shit like that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm trying to stick to it. I'm not trying to tie it to like this was the most epic night. Like I'm trying to stick to it, just like beer.
I got a blowjob at a bar bathroom, and she put a finger in my butt. That was a great night, man.
Yeah, because if I was doing that, it probably would just be the first night I was drinking.
When you drank all those Coronas and you like threw up.
Yeah, but it wasn't so much later. It was just the way in which we got to Coronas. But if I'm going based on because I actually enjoyed the beer, that's tough, man. Or even liquor, shit. You know what? I'd probably for my wedding, getting Johnny Walker Blue. My wife bought that for me on our wedding night, and I shared it with all you guys. I probably would have wanted to savor it a little more, and enjoy it. But that first sip was just so fucking good for me. Oh my god, I can't believe I missed you. Good thing I have this knife.
Oh god damn it! No! Oh, I thought I did a clever move for once. Why can't I just have these things? Yeah, that Johnny Walker Blue was legit. I will say that.
Oh yeah, it was.
Oh fuck! God damn it! I wanted that kill in there. I hit the wrong fucking button. Goddamn! Oh god, piss in my ass. How do you have so many items already?
That was definitely my drinking. How about you? I know you don't have a lot of proud drinking moments.
Yeah, that is very unfortunately true. But I guess maybe my first moment remembering or drinking a beer that I can fully remember. So I was like maybe 10 or 11 at the time, and we were at like a family birthday party or something like that. Or like, no, we're at like a VFW, or no, not a VFW, an FOP. That's what we were.
Jesus Christ, get your story straight.
It was an FOP. God damn it! So we're there, and then my brother just like
You lay in
sneaks
the
me a little
corner
bit of
with
beer,
your
and he's
uncle.
like, yeah, that came later. That I asked for. But yeah, so he hands me this little bit of beer, and like me being a 10-year-old, I'm like, I can't drink this. This is like, this is for grown-ups and shit. He's like, shut up and drink it. So
And
not like I
touches.
got drunk or anything off that, because it was like, damn it. I'm just walking in all these. You fucking stumped me.
It's like a snake.
But just sipping that, like, it was like, it was like probably just like some shitty Budweiser or whatever, but drinking that for the first time was just like, and I liked it too. I liked the taste. It isn't like how people will say beer is an acquired taste and shit like that. For me, it was just like right away. I was like, "Ooh, this is tasty."
Yeah, I think my first taste of beer, I definitely was not thrilled about it. Get away from me, mean man.
Never.
Yo, you ain't me. You can't be throwing knives.
I'll throw knives. I do things. I'm not gonna play Ring Around a Goddamn Rosie with you.
Or are you?
I don't think I'm gonna have a choice, am I?
Nope.
This is so fucking. God damn it!
Quick shot!
God damn it! I hate you. I hate you with the fire of 1,000 suns.
Jim, I
swear
quick
to
scope,
fucking
Jim.
God. Quick scope, your fucking asshole. God damn it!
Ow!
Hello.
No!
Please just kill
Jim,
the bitch.
can you do
Fuck's
a
sake.
different kill? Stop just mashing buttons.
No.
At least make it interesting for people.
I mash buttons.
You know what? From now
No,
on,
I will not.
I'm just going to be Jason, and we're going to see if you can actually make it to 5 minutes. And that's going to be the challenge.
To the 5-minute point.
Yeah.
Oh god. This is like the retarded version of your like 10 thing in zombies.
Yeah, exactly.
Where yours takes skill and I'm just an asshole.
All right, so that's a new challenge. Can Jim make it to 5 minutes? And I'll set my timer for this. So man, you're gaming.
How the fuck? Wait, hold on a second. Jason says, "How about drinking your first Milwaukee's Best?" Which is a little weird to me because my dad actually basically lives off Beast Light.
Well, Jim, I think we've talked about it because I constantly say that's like all you drink.
No, all I drink is Keystone Light. There's a difference.
All you drink is shit.
All I drink is your mother's pussy juice.
That is
No.
disgusting. We all know you love the cock.
I'm gonna make a beer out of that.
A cock?
Fine, maybe I'll make a cock juice drink then. Yeah, cock beer.
Probably would. You goddamn otter.
Be a little gaming probably, but otter. What?
You're not a bear. You're not a twink. You're an otter.
I don't know what the fuck to say to that. Is that like an actual thing?
Yes, it is. Jim, you are
looks
not
like I'm
up to
gonna be
date on your It's Always Sunny. You need to stop
Oh no,
watching the goddamn.
I'm way behind.
You need to stop watching the cooking channel because you can't cook shit for shit, and you need to start watching It's Always Sunny.
I can cook ground beef, and that's it.
No, you
Ground
can't.
beef and pre-made pizzas.
You're probably like, oh, I didn't
Yes, I
drain
can.
it. I didn't drain enough this time. Jim, you see what I did there?
Shut your fucking mouth. I drain enough.
All right, let me get this. Let me get this clock going
Real-
as soon as we start.
Really fucking proud of yourself.
Can Jim make it 5 minutes? Clock.
That is the question.
starts now. All right, so now I can't dick around. I'm gonna come right for you.
How you find me like instantly? I don't know.
It's not always instantly.
Oh, it's basically instantly.
Jim, what's in your hurl? Now, 5 minutes, actually, you should be able to. Unless I find you early, you might be able to do.
Yeah, like if I try to not be like a Riri about it, like I should be able to do
5
it.
minutes is very easy. Because I gotta find your time limit.
Some would say.
Oh, what was I gonna say?
So actually, what are you playing right now? We didn't even go to what we're playing.
Well, Cuphead and this.
That old standby.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, for me, it's been Cuphead. The other night, I was playing one of your old favorites, Mean Bean Machine. God, I
Why?
suck at that
See,
game.
there, right there. There is a good. You have so many games, retro and new, that you haven't played.
I have a reason.
Let's hear this fucking bullshit reason.
A guy tagged me in a picture of him playing it. I was like, it's been a while since I played it. And I only spent like a half hour on it, or maybe it was like an hour.
That's not a
Didn't
good
get far,
reason.
that's for fucking sure. Yes, it is. A guy reminded me of it, and I went, yeah, I'll play it.
That's a terrible reason.
You're a terrible reason.
It's like, oh man, a guy tagged some gay porn, so I figured, let's turn it on.
Well, let's jerk off to it.
You pissed me off, Jim.
But no, besides that, I've been playing Hellfire and the Genesis, a lot of Cuphead, and, yeah, what else? Oh, God. Good God. Just fuck me in the ass. God damn it! Fuck me, why do I suck at hitting you so badly?
Jim, let's see how much time you have left. You have 2 minutes and 27 seconds left. So let's see if you can get to 5.
So I made it to the halfway point.
Yeah, you made it halfway. That's not bad.
But yeah, I mean, the majority of what I'm playing right now is Cuphead. I haven't had a lot of time to play it because I'm working on these Coleco videos, but that's the game I'm going to right now.
Okay. All right. While I'm setting up this next game, I'm gonna throw you a little. We're gonna get back to some of our old topics. Which is better?
All right. Oh, okay.
And I'm gonna throw you for a little bit of a loop. Which is better? And how do I put this? I want you to take your personal opinions out of it. Which is a better game?
All right.
Okay. I am going to go with... This is tough because I'm trying to think how to... Did you actually play it? Yeah, you've played that. Okay. Fuck, did you play that? Alright, yeah, so you're not going based on your opinion.
Right.
Ocarina, like, so you're not going, like, your personal favorite. Which game do you think is actually better? I'll give some reasons. Ocarina of Time.
All right.
Or Star Fox 64.
All right. Well, as a lot of you know, Star Fox 64 is my favorite game of all time.
It shifts, but God. Because you're a floppy.
70% of the time, it's my favorite game of all time. Sometimes it's Streets of Rage 2, you motherfucker. But I guess when it comes down to it, you know what? I'm still going to say Star Fox because I'll give you some reasons why.
I am fascinated. Go ahead.
Okay. Reason 1. The overall art style holds up a little bit better than the 3D rendered models of Legend of Zelda. It still looks good, but these days the kind of simplistic just spaceship design holds up better with Star Fox. Reason 2. The control scheme holds up a lot better.
Hold on. Can we stop right there for a second? So you think Star Fox graphically holds up better?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. I'm not going to give my opinion on this until at the end. I just want to make sure I clarify your opinion.
Right.
Go
So
ahead.
I think it holds up graphically better. I think the control scheme definitely holds up better. Just like most kind of third-person, any kind of games in general. Like, not that Legend of Zelda holds up badly, but there's just a simple fact that, I don't know, man, like, it all comes down to camera angles for the most part. Like, Star Fox is always fixed behind you, so you always have a perfect spot or vision of what you're looking at. You're never really confused by what you're looking at. And it's a game that, like, you're not going to get annoyed by being hit by shit off screen that you're not expecting, or shit that, like, should have never hit you in general, or kind of the cheap... Like, there are certain enemies that, like, you have to be in your, like, third-person Z-button attacking kind of figuration where you have to wait for the perfect time and hit them at the right time, and they might jump off screen and come on screen and kill you, or a certain boss will be way too big, or you just might have to be dealing with, like, just too much bullshit, really. So, I think just for the simplicity of the game and the fact that a lot of third-person action games from the time don't hold up as well, that's the reason I would say Star Fox holds up better overall. Now, is Ocarina of Time, and I know I lasted like a minute here, is Ocarina of Time
Jim, by the way,
better...
You're at
probably
250 again.
Fuck. Surprised it lasted that long. Seemed like the last game lasted way longer. Well, I say Ocarina of Time's an overall better story to experience the first time, yes. But honestly, Ocarina of Time doesn't have that much replayability either. Like, going back and trying to get all the gold, 100 gold Scotellas, like, I did that. And that was fun to do, but it was also kind of, you know, just extra padding. Whereas the arcade kind of nature of Star Fox, always trying to go for a higher score, always trying to think of that one move that you can do here that can get you an extra 5 points here or there. And the fact that you can attack the maps in a ton of different ways. So I think being also a pick-up-and-play kind of game at this point in my life definitely gives it an advantage there for me, because you can beat it within a half hour. So just overall at this stage of my life, and with just the options that it gives you outside of playing it once, being blown away by it, and then playing through it again and being like, yeah, you know, it's okay, I've already done this. I think every experience can still be a little bit different in Star Fox, where in Zelda it's just the same thing every time. I think it gives you more to go back to. I think that's a big reason. So that's why I'll say Star Fox 64 at this point is a better game than Ocarina of Time. Now, if you're talking about a first impression and you're playing through each the first time, and like fully playing through each the first time, it's Ocarina of Time, leaps and bounds. But in a lifetime of gaming, Star Fox is the better game.
Interesting. Well, Jim, first of all...
See? Wasn't just nostalgia dickery.
Well, mostly it was. And here's some of the holes I'm not
Oh.
poking in your little theory right there. I'm
Flawless
not trying to contradict you, by the way. I'm just... There's some things in general that you said that are just completely asinine. Number one, let's just be completely honest. From that generation, PlayStation, N64, whatever, none of those 3D games really hold up graphically. Well, let's just be honest. Like, yeah, we're not talking about me and you, how we score things compared to other things. Like, how do they hold up today? They don't hold up. The only thing that holds up with it is your nostalgia. So, that's number one. Stop saying it holds up. It don't. N64 games, they don't hold
Graphically, I'll say Star Fox N64 holds up better.
It doesn't.
It isn't trying to look realistic.
Neither. I'm saying neither one holds up. Once again, I'm not trying to throw a hole in which one's better. I'm saying stop trying to make that case. You said the control was perfect, and I played that game and did better than you the first time you played it. And
I was 10.
And you know, you can make excuses if you want, but at the end of the day, that control.
And I said the control holds up perfect. I didn't say it was perfect.
No, you said it was smooth. You never, if you get hit by something, you feel like it's not you. I'm just saying that control is not perfect, and that it, you know, by default of the N64 controller, You can't say that control is perfect.
The controller is not perfect.
What I'm more interested in is the fact that you're going to really argue that the story and the level of depth in Legend of Zelda doesn't just kind of on that alone make it a more, like, it's a more submersive experience. Like, at the end of the day in Star Fox,
Definitely.
you're just shooting shit. Like, you don't try and say, like, the story's interesting. The boss, I mean, you know my feeling on Legend of Zelda in general. But let's face the boss and goddamn the end of Star Fox. Isn't it just like a giant head and hand?
What, Andros?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
kind of ridiculous. So, I mean, yeah, you can definitely say,
Ah!
hey, Jim, I found you.
Good. Goody gumdrops.
I don't know, man. I think your nostalgia's blocking you a little bit.
And I said it in the fact, though, that your first time playing through it, that Legend of Zelda is by far the better game. And I said that it's definitely the better story and experience overall. But when you get past that first time playing it, oh, for fuck's sake.
Well,
Once
you
get
know
through
what's
that first dick shittery.
why is it that the N64, in general, none of those games hold up graphically? You know, like, when you look at,
it's
like,
a product of the generation.
I know, but what I'm saying is, like, you look at NES and Super NES and even Genesis, like, those graphics, they do still hold up. They're so much better. Like,
Yeah.
why is that?
You know what it is? Because it didn't try... Oh, Jesus! It didn't try to do too much. That was the thing. It knew what its confines were and what it could pull off. Obviously, there's exceptions like, say, even the original Star Fox or Virtua Racer or shit like that, where they tried to go into the 3D realm. But when you have a 16-bit machine and you're doing 2D with it, it's kind of a timeless look. The big problem with a lot of the early 3D games is... No, I was going to get to it. I'm going to get to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of screen tearing. There's a lot of, like, seeing through the cracks and walls and levels. There's a lot of just overly pixelated and blocky 3D graphics. Like, I think the hardware at the time wasn't ready for what game developers were trying to do with it. Like, in the United States especially, it was 3D or bust. Like, if you weren't making a 3D game, the game's not worth putting out on your system. Which, you know, kind of sucks looking back, but that's just the way it was. And at the time, we were like, oh shit, look at these graphics and crap like that. And then you look back and you're like, oh, this looks awful. Whereas, you know, with the earlier consoles, you can say, oh, look at these graphics, and you can look back and say, yeah, for this console, they still look good.
And here's the deal. I want to be clear, and Jason pointed this out on the Twitch. Just because I'm saying a graphics don't hold up, I'm not saying that a game isn't good. Like, I'm not saying that a gameplay... Like, gameplay obviously is more important. I'm saying, like, most good NES games, the graphics still hold up. Whether the gameplay does or not, that's completely different. You know, a perfect example is... You can't show me an Atari game that the graphics hold up. Nothing to do with gameplay. Just graphics. And I'm not saying like the game is all of a sudden a piece of shit. I'm just saying, if we're being honest, yeah, those graphics don't hold up. Like, I feel like, you know, games of the Xbox and even PS2 era, there are some games even in that era that the graphics ain't gonna hold up. You know, but, you know, gameplay is completely different from graphics, and we know that. But N64, man, people just... Like, you can be fine with the gameplay, but even the gameplay to it, like, you know, to a degree, you know, I think me and you have said it how many times, you got to be able to separate, is the game good single player, or is it only good with multiplayer? You know, like, I can't play Mario Kart 64 by myself, or Smash Bros., you know, any of those, like, party games. But with a bunch of friends, fun as shit. You know, so those are games that hold up when you have multiplayer, in my opinion.
Fair enough. I mean, those are games I grew up with playing single player, so I'm gonna. Oh man, we might have to cut this a little short, Bri.
Are you gonna poop?
Yep.
All right, we'll finish this map. But in any event, do you think how will the 360 and newer generation consoles hold up in the future?
That's what I'm really interested to see because, like, compared to like games today, like sure, like games on the Xbox One and PS4 look a lot better than the 360 generation, but they don't look. Oh God! All right, you know what, Bri? I'm gonna have to call an audible on this one.
All right. Well, then we'll do our sign off. All right, guys. Thank you for joining in.
Sorry, everyone.
Jim has to go. He has a little bit of emergency.
Take care of things.
But you know what? I may actually play a little bit more Cuphead. So come back in like 5 minutes. I got to piss and grab another beer. But thank you guys for watching the stream. Thank you if you're watching on YouTube. And as always, guys, cheers.
Cheers.